Good morning. So, I promised that I would show up and invite you along for the ride. And part of that ride today is I said no to something that would have been the most delightful, perfect kismet opportunity 6 months ago. But I had a major identity shift this last weekend. So, I said no, and nobody died. Okay, so I'm going to spare the details to protect the privacy of the people that I said no to, but I was invited based on a one off helping a friend copywriting moment to have a meeting with a pretty cool project and a pretty luxury brand. This would have been like 6 months ago, Cheryl's dream gig. And I knew in my sacral, in I'm a 5-1 generator, so I respond with that sacral authority. I knew in my gut that this is a no, even though I could do it, even though I want the money, even though right now I'm not yet where I want to be financially, but I'm going that way with gusto. And I just got on the call, and before everybody got in, I told the person who was the main connection, I was like, just to let you know, this is a no for me, but I want to honor the position and the ask and the relationship here, and also recommend someone who I think might be the perfect fit. And I just stood in my authority and said why, said what I'm actually here to do, and that this, as much as I would love to do it and I would be good at it and it would be easy for me, it's not what I'm called here to do. It's not my passion, it's not my purpose, and I am focusing only on that. I am not getting distracted, and I am not um settling for good, all right, okay, and taking up the space of greatness. So I was able to stay. And then I advocated, I was like, but I would love to stay on the call and hear more about your vision and more about where you're going so that I can find the correct connections, because that is something that I'm really, really good at, is connecting people and maximizing their potential. So that was cool. And then before we signed off, they let me know that they're really interested in getting the training and certification that I haven't finished building yet for a sensory balance space for their entire team. And that wouldn't have happened that way if I wasn't so strongly in my power, in my purpose, and in my authority. So I want to give you permission today that just because saying no, responding no in past situations became a problem, doesn't mean that it is a problem now. I want you to think about, maybe close your eyes if that works for you. Take a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to think about all the times you regretted saying yes to keep the peace. What it cost you. What did it cost you to say yes when you meant no? Or when you didn't know and you're like, well, I guess I'll just give it a try, because you don't want to let down or disappoint the person, because they're obviously asking you for a reason. And we start to negotiate with ourselves. We start to talk ourselves into the thing that we don't have a good enough reason to say no to, except that the answer is no. And so when I was sharing with my friend before the call started, I was like, okay, so this is uncomfortable for me, and I just want to tell you that this is a no for me. Um and and I could explain myself, but I know I don't have to, because you understand the authority, but I want to articulate my why, not as a excuse or an explanation, but just so you understand why I said no. Like, the offer is a good offer. It's, I'm just not the right fit for this, even though they want me to. I'm the easiest answer for the perceived problem that they have, but I'm not the correct answer. And this is what I'm starting to learn. This is what I'm starting to lean into. And it's helping me heal the fawn and people pleasing response that I was trained in, having an emotionally immature parent who may or may not have untreated, undiagnosed personality disorder that I'm not going to armchair diagnose her with, but the similarities, they're the same. Um, Anyway, so I learned that no wasn't safe, and it was disrespected anyway. So I sort of just started saying yes to things, um, because nobody listened to my no anyway, and it was all unconscious. This was not a conscious thing. And the first real big crack of this nut happened um about a year ago, actually. I think it was just a year ago. Yeah. The real crack of this nut happened a year ago when I said yes to working for with a friend, which would have been my dream job at that time. It was something that I had delighted and desired to do for 5 6 years. And so I said yes because I was tapped into their vision, um and I didn't think saying no was an option for so many different reasons. Um and when I got into it, I realized I was well and over my head, that the work did not light me up, that I was stressed and anxious all of the time, um, and that I became an entrepreneur. I became someone who works for themselves so that I wouldn't have to deal with that stress on my nervous system all the time, the shifting expectations, the not knowing what's going on, the being confused, the thinking I got it right, doing the work, and then realizing I didn't get it right and having to deal with that and having to like 2 and 3 and 4 times before it was correct. And that doesn't happen to me when I'm in my zone of genius and following my passion and my purpose. It's really easy. Um, that's one thing that is about like my human design and my natal chart and who I authentically am as a human being is that even though it takes grit, commitment, and staying power, it's not hard for me to do what I'm called here to do. It is an energetic exchange. Sometimes I get tired. I have a human body, hello, but it's not something that I don't wake up and dread being in my business. So I was like, why did I say yes to that? And it's because I didn't know how to say no yet. I didn't know how to listen to the signals that my body was sending and just believe it without proof. And now I do. So I got to re go through the pattern. So permission, if you're seeing the same lesson come up again and again, it's a new layer. It's not the same lesson. It's not the exact same lesson, right? Because we all come to earth. This is my belief, and you could take it or leave it or edit it and add stuff to it or whatever. But my belief is evolving and it will continue to evolve as I grow because that's literally the point of the human experience. But my belief is that we have a certain lesson or a theme that we're here to alchemize when we come to planet Earth as a soul in a human body. Okay? And while yes, I am love, compassion, loyalty, and creativity with skin on. I'm a Leo with a Libra rising and a Libra moon and a Cancer midhaven. So I lead with a lot of heart, a lot of intuition, fairness, balance, beauty unconventionally is important to me. Autonomy is important to me. Courage is important to me. Love is important to me. Belonging is important to me. So all of those things, all of my identity centers are wrapped up in my 10th and 11th houses, which means that my career and my expression of my passion and my purpose is necessary to be in alignment with how I'm fundamentally designed. I used to think there was something wrong with me because I couldn't work jobs for money to buy stuff. Like, that's what employment feels like to me. It's like, if there is no purpose in it, if I'm not improving people's lives, if I'm not being love with skin on, if I'm not furthering whatever thing for the collective of humanity, I start to hate who I am. I start to lose my sense of self. I start to chameleon. I start to people please and I start to fawn. And that's how it's been my whole life. I was born breech, bum first, 8 weeks early as a premature baby, a twin, an identical twin in the 80s. So I have always done things my own way. I have always done things in my own time, and I've always done them fast. My mother told the birth story so many times, and even though we no longer are connected because of safety and intergenerational trauma, I still honor and love and trust all of those stories and where I've come from. And my mom was there for like her 7.5 month or whatever it was checkup. Anyone who's had multiple births, especially in the 80s and 90s, know what I'm talking about. They watched you like you were a ticking time bomb in a way that they don't now because tools have improved. So my mom was there, and if you can picture this, she was having a cigarette because it was the 80s, right? Oh, the 80s. She was having a cigarette and she didn't feel well. And they came up to her and they were like, "Hun," they said her name, "and you're having your babies now." And she literally went into labor, and within an hour, I was born, and with less than 10 minutes later, my sister was born. So we came quick and we came fast, and I had a purpose from the minute I was conceived. And every single time I say yes to something that takes me away from that purpose, my life gets so messy, so derailed, and I go through a different kind of struggle. So my human design and my natal chart also show that I'm literally here to transform the struggle. So I go through the goo and I hermit and hide from everyone while I do it. And then when I come out with the lesson on the other side, I teach it. That is my life's purpose. I can't do that if I'm helping everyone else in their business write an email, right? So, what does that look like now? We're still kind of figuring it out, but I'm using YouTube and I'm using my Instagram to just talk more freely, to share my story, to share my origin story, to share my becoming stories, because we're becoming our entire life. It ebbs and flows just like the ocean, it changes just like seasons and cycles. And right now, I'm in this really exciting place where I know where Sensory Balance Space Inc. is going. I've posted some links down below if you'd like to follow. I know where that's going. I know partly, I know the main pillars of the journey for the next 5 years, and I know what the long term goal is. I don't know how it's going to happen. And I also know that I'm a born storyteller. I've been telling stories my whole life. I've done stand up comedy, I've done podcasts, I've written poetry books, I've been published for fiction, for nonfiction. I've won awards for my creative writing. People hire me to do their storytelling, or they used to, because I don't do that anymore. Um, so what I'm doing right now is somewhere in the middle while I figure it out. I'm offering cosmic concierge all-in-one solutions for people who are like me, who are solopreneurs, who are spiritually inclined, but maybe that's not what they're doing in their business, but they're so used to having to be everything and do everything for everyone that they've carried it over into entrepreneurship and it's like fucking killing them. So what I'm doing is I'm like, okay, come to me, tell me all the things, tell me, like, make a list. So, okay, I'm going to give you a freebie right now. If this is you, if you're resonating to the description of the person I just told you or the thing that was my story, I would like you to take some time, and maybe it'll take you a week, maybe it won't, but I would like for you to take some time and make a list of everything you do. Okay. It doesn't have to be exhaustive, but it has to be as exhaustive as you can think without overdoing the perfectionism, okay? So you won't get every single thing that you get, but you'll get a lot of them. And if, like me, you're also the caregiver in your home, whether that's with kids, whether that's with pets, whether that's with a spouse, is irrelevant. If, like me, you're also the caregiver in your home, I want you to make two lists. I want you to make a list of every single thing that you do in your business, like everything: social media management, copywriting, graphic design, web design, contacts, acquisition, like all of it, every single thing that you do, all of it. And then I want you to do the same thing for your life, all of it, all the things that you manage that fall to you or that you do because no one else is going to do them. I want you to write those lists. And then I want you to take a walk and do literally anything else. Then a day or two later, I want you to go back to those lists and I want you to highlight, mark, put a sticker or an emoji beside if you're doing it in your phone of the things that only you can do, that nobody else could do. Whether or not they're going to do it is not the point. I want you to put a marker, a sticker, or a highlight beside the things that only you can do. And then once you've done that, I would like for you to screenshot or take a picture of the two lists and send them to me on my DMs on Instagram. Because I guarantee you that the reason you're stuck in your business isn't because you don't know what you're doing. It isn't because you don't know what you're here to do. And it isn't because you aren't good at what you do. The reason you're stuck in your business is because you're distracted trying to be literally everything to everyone. And I know that because it was me. It's a survival mechanism that we were taught growing up when our needs were not met. So we just started meeting our needs. And then we didn't want anyone else to feel that way. So we started meeting everyone else's needs and managing them. And it made it impossible to exist in a healthy way. So I would love to hear the outcome of that. Let's check back in. Please come follow me on Instagram. And if you found me through this video, let me know where you're tuning in from and all of the things. Bye for now.